Today's adventure takes us to Hickory Hills, Illinois, and to Archerwood Cemetery, also known as Mount Greenwood Memory Garden West, but most everyone knows it as Archerwood Cemetery, as seen on the post behind me. Now, this cemetery goes back earlier than 1920. It is supposedly haunted. There's supposedly a weeping, wailing woman that can be seen in the cemetery, and that can be heard once you cross these gates. So come join me as we explore this cemetery and see if we could find the weeping woman. Okay, everybody, welcome back for another video. We are at Archerwood Cemetery. This is October, so what is better than a ghost story? As we can see, the iron gate here. Unfortunately, the iron gate is missing on this side. Rumor is once you walk through these gates, you hear the sounds of a wailing woman. Although today, I hear the sounds of airplanes overhead. I hear the sounds of a truck towing horses, a diesel truck. I hear the sounds of everything except a wailing woman. But let's see what happens. This cemetery is within what I call like the haunted Bermuda Triangle of this area. And why I call it that? Well, it's right near Archer Avenue. And Archer Avenue has a lot of haunted history to it. Let me tell you, to the north of here is Resurrection Cemetery, and of course, Resurrection Mary. And most everyone has heard that story. I have done a video on Resurrection Mary, if you want to check that out. And then you come to this cemetery, Archer Woods, and legend has it that, as I said before, there's a wailing woman. And if you look on the internet, supposedly some paranormal groups have caught photos of this woman, or apparition, or whatever you want to call it, near the gate. You know, photos are a bit grainy and I'm not 100% convinced on it, but whatever. And then to the south on Archer Avenue, you have St. James Cemetery, also known as Monk's Castle. Beautiful old cemetery. I did a video on that as well. Go check that out. Beautiful old cemetery and old church. It's really quite remarkable. We have a nice mausoleum over here. Sonnenberg. Here. This mausoleum looks to have seen better days. The windows are out of it. Kind of hard to see inside. The handles are missing, the hardware is missing. It looks like somebody tried to drill out the lock and broke the windows, and that's a shame. Nice mausoleum there. So Archer Avenue is interesting. Let's get back to that. Archer Avenue. Before it was Archer Avenue, well, it was named Archer Avenue off of from a 19th century politician named William Beatty Archer. That's where it got its name. But prior to that, Archer Avenue was an Indian trail. Potawatomi Indians, very prominent in this area. As a matter of fact, there are some Indian mounds around here yet, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of these cemeteries are built adjacent to or on top of some of these Indian mounds. So obviously we have Resurrection Mary, we have the Wailing Woman here at Archer Woods, and then we also have at St. James people seeing monks walking through the cemetery. There's a old horse and carriage with a coffin on it that is seen going through this cemetery as well as St. James Cemetery. Neitzel's the name on this. Frederick died in 1938 and Augusta 1941. So at night, people will sometimes see an apparition of a horse and carriage pulling a coffin, going through these cemeteries or even going down Archer Avenue. It's quite interesting that all this stuff is happening in this area. And I do believe it all does relate somehow, some way to Native American and energy and things like that. So this Wailing Woman in this cemetery, they do not have a name for her or anything like that. So it's kind of a mystery. You know, at least with Resurrection Mary, they kind of they suspect they know who she is, even though I'm not 100% sure on that either. It's a nice monument. There never was a night that had no mourn. And Dorothy and Ernest, Dorothy died 1982, Ernest 1962. So she lived much longer. This isn't a very big cemetery. I think there's about 5,000 graves in total. This is a beautiful family monument here to Schlussler. Look at that detail. I mean, that is really incredible detail. All those flowers. Wow, that is incredible. That is a lot of detail on that. Somebody took a lot of time carving that. In memory of my beloved wife, it says there on the bottom. And as I back up here, we do have Emma, which I assume is his wife, 1939. And then next to it, the Reverend G. Schuschler, the father, 1946, and some beautiful designs in there as well in that cross. And he erected this monument for his wife Emma sometime after she died in 1936. There's either a lot of open land around here or there's a lot of unmarked graves. And right in this area here, there's definitely a lot of unmarked graves because there's actually sunken graves, which I'm surprised because this cemetery isn't really that old. There should not be sunken graves in here. Let's see what else we can find. But yeah, going back to Archer Avenue, you know, there might be something there. I don't know. There's a lot of stories. Walters, 1983 and 1989 for his wife Catherine. And you can see, especially right here, I mean, this is definitely a sunken grave here. This is really sunken. Like, this is a good 1.5 to 2 feet. So I wonder if there's maybe some paupers' graves around here. Here's a wife. What does this say? 1976. Darlene Fennell. Yeah, this is interesting. Here's another one. Completely sunken in. Unmarked. So there are a lot of unmarked graves, sunken graves. Even this one is sunken. And this is from 1983. Viola, and she was only 51 years old. Here's this one also from 1983. These graves are not in very good condition, guys. And I guess if I was buried here in one of these graves, I might be wailing too. I might be pretty mad about it and screaming a little bit. It's interesting. I have not seen a cemetery, unless the cemetery goes back much further than what they're saying it does. But I've not seen sunken graves like that in a modern cemetery. Another beautiful monument. Just nice design right here. Very nice design. It seems like a lot of Germans in here. (1945) for Gustav and Frederica. 1938. But yeah, interesting cemetery. It doesn't look like, it looks like they cut the lawn. They don't do a very good job trimming necessarily. Here's a Julius Schmidt, private in World War I, died in 1948. Thank you for your service, sir. Droege, Droege, Lewis, 1946, and Georgiana, 1972. Nothing real fancy in here as far as monuments go. This one here just says Plattner, Our Darling Son, 1927. This is a large, very large plot of land on this cemetery. The cemetery is huge, but it's not, I don't see a lot of gravestones. And the ones that are here, a lot of them are sunken. Here's some here that have, oh, here's one here that looked like it was old, but it isn't. This one's just sunken. Ernest, U.S. Army, World War II, 1926, 1991. And that's a shame. That is a shame. Thank you for your service, sir. That should be dug out and re-erected for him. And we got some over here that have tipped over. What a shame. Yeah, I guess I would be haunting this cemetery as well if my grave was tipped over and sunken and not kept up very well. Let's see what else we can find in here, if there's anything interesting. Notice some red flags on two grave sites. I'm not sure why. This is Arthur and Lillian. And then another red flag here on Sell, S-E-L-L, Fred and Christine. Not sure what the significance of that. And got a pile of, I thought there was a grave here. There might be a grave here. But there's just a pile of stuff. I don't know if there's a name. That's a shame. It doesn't, there's no marker or no name here. 6-7 feet away, there's George Westergren, who born in 1937, died in 1941, but I don't think that's for him. I don't know what that is. Somebody at one time cared very much and then just stopped coming. That's very interesting. Very interesting. All right, I'm taking a walk down at the fringes. There is no markers here, and look at this, guys. I don't know I think even on the camera you can see this. This grave is sunken in a good foot and a half. And then right behind it is another one sunken in. And there's a whole row of sunken in graves. This empty, what looks like an empty field, has no markers, but it is full of sunken graves. Oh, there's a stone right there that's under the ground. This is wild. This is wild. All right, let's see if we can make out something here. All right, let's see what we can make out here. So this is Isaac Carter, 1981 to 1993. So Isaac was only 11 years old. This might be the baby section. I can't believe that though, because it's not in good shape. I mean, you just saw how buried Isaac's marker was. And there's that's a hole in the ground there. Wow, I have to be careful walking. I wanted to see what's over here because I see some flowers, but I do not want to. It doesn't even look like they mow this part, and they probably can't, not with these sunken graves. It'd be too hard to mow. Again, I think if I was buried in here, I would haunt the place as well. I'd be wailing and mad. This is in great shape. Richard Murphy, 1924-1971. Way back here by the woods. And then another one right next to his, Pearl Jackson, 1910-1991. But yeah, this isn't good, guys. Not good. Unless this is more of a pulpers section. Flora Mitchell, 1936, 1992. There are some markers in here. I bet a lot of markers are under this this grass. World War II private. Because as I'm walking, I do see some markers. 1991, 79 is to 91. Monique. And here's another one that is completely sunken in. I don't know. This is a very interesting cemetery. I came here for the paranormal. Now I'm fixated on sunken graves and the poor quality of the cemetery. It's a shame. It's a shame. Got a flag here laying on the ground. The flag is nowhere near anything. Let's, I don't know. It's broken, so I can't get it back in the ground, but I'm at least gonna set it there on that tombstone. This is interesting. This is something you would see, I think, at a more upscale cemetery, because I'm saying this cemetery is really in poor condition. Boris Rosenberg, 1910 to 1979, and then Jonas, unable to really see that very well, it needs to be clean, 1923, 1975, and there's this beautiful monument here to the family of Rosenberg. And there's nothing on the back. So I was paused there because I smell something, and it's not bad. You know when you walk into a church and you have that smell of, that church smell. I don't know, it's a combination of candles and, whatever is in the church. And this is Maria Rosenberg. That's what I smell right now. Like I've just walked into a church. But, obviously there's no candles burning anywhere. You know what I'm talking about. You walk into a church and you smell like it's either candles burning or even the smell of the wood, the pews and stuff. That's weird. That's what I just smelled. I don't know what that means. I'm out in the middle of an open field here and it's quite breezy out, and now I don't smell it anymore. It was just by that Rosenberg gravesite. Very interesting. Okay guys, I'm in another field. This is toward the front of the cemetery. Not much here. This is from 1963 to 2012. A nice monument for Cheryl. But this has not been cut in some time, and a lot of these that are in the ground are, the growth of the grass has grown over those. And here's Garden of Hymns, and that has also seen some better days. I'm guessing that's supposed to be like a pipe organ. One other thing I wanted to show you before we leave here, and I haven't seen or heard a wailing woman, although I might start wailing here in a minute with the condition of the cemetery, is the Kean Mausoleum. Now the road that we're adjacent to here is Kean Avenue. And as I was pulling in, I noticed the Kean Mausoleum. Don't know how old it is, but I wanted to go check that out. Here we have just literally just some gravel. And look at this. We have, this came off of the base and it's just laying there. Wow. Very, very sad. So I got a different kind of scare coming in here. It wasn't the paranormal kind. It was the upkeep kind. Here we go. Here's Kean, 1925. A nice Art Deco type mausoleum. It almost looks like a torch, an upside down torch. I've never seen that before. So maybe that represents life extinguished, since it is upside down. Let's see what's on the other side. Maybe there's an upside down torch there too. Yeah, so this side also has an upside down torch. So I'm guessing life extinguished. Just says Kean. Probably one of the first graves in this cemetery. And as cars go down Kean Avenue, okay, I think this is one of the more recent burials. I'm not sure. All right, guys. Well, I came for the paranormal, and that didn't scare me. But the condition of this cemetery is what scared me. Didn't see any apparitions today. The only wailing that's happening is coming from me because of the condition of this cemetery. But I can see if you're here at night, because a lot of these paranormal tours and that do come by here at night, it's dark. It is 100% dark. There's some houses around here, but there's no street lights, and there's no lights in the cemetery, so your imagination can play some tricks on you. I also noticed that there's some farms across the street and some farm animals. I did hear some sheep in that earlier, so that also can play into the paranormal that people are experiencing around here. Maybe they're hearing animals and not ghosts, who knows. But thank you so much for watching, and as always, until next time, keep exploring.